Tonight, the Ministry of Health explains the dispatch of teams to homes and a workplace as standard procedure for COVID-19 contact tracing after videos spark rumors. 219 St. Lucians on cruise ships will be returning to the island this Friday after previously being denied entry due to COVID-19 protocols. And the tourism minister on why St. Lucia has to get the wheels in motion to open the tourism sector come June. That and more coming up.
This is the Hot 7 Nightly News with Lovelace and Amy Joseph.
Good night. It is Wednesday, the 6th of May, 2020. Welcome to the Hot 7 TV Nightly News. We're on Floor Channel 117. The broadcast is also being simulcast on Kiss FM and our Caribbean Hot FM mobile app. I'm Lovely St. Amy Joseph. Thank you for joining us. The circulation of videos showing the presence of the fire service in a community and individuals being taken into ambulances sparked a firestorm of speculation. The Ministry of Health is bringing clarity to the matter, indicating that this is standard procedure of contact tracing and monitoring after a confirmed COVID-19 case. The Ministry of Health further calls for people's privacy to be respected. St. Lucia has recorded 18 confirmed cases of COVID-19 so far. The most recent case, which was announced on Sunday, led to a process of contact tracing. In identifying people who the man had come into contact with, health and emergency officials were captured on camera. The videos were shared via social media platforms and caused much concern about possible confirmed cases of COVID-19 on the East Coast. National epidemiologist Michelle Fassois explains that that is not the case. She brings clarity to the matter.
A team has been dispatched to the residence as well as the workplace of the individual. This is part of our normal protocol whereby we initiate contact tracing. Contact tracing is essentially trying to find all the individuals who have been in contact with a confirmed case. These individuals will be assessed based on their level of risk and their level of exposure, and a determination will be made as to how best to proceed with these individuals.
Dr. Fassois explains that based on the level of exposure as well as the results of an assessment of an individual's home conditions, a decision is made on whether home isolation or facility-based isolation is required. A decision to place an individual into facility-based quarantine does not indicate that a person has COVID-19. An individual can only be diagnosed with COVID-19 after testing for the virus is done.
These individuals are not confirmed cases of COVID, but as per our protocol, they have to be monitored until proven otherwise. This is one of our measures and the measures taken worldwide to break the transmission chain and to ensure that COVID does not spread into the community. So the Ministry of Health and Wellness would like to reiterate that these cases, these persons who have been brought in are only for monitoring. We are following up these individuals. It is part of our normal and standard procedure where we assess individuals based on their level of contact, on their level of exposure, and if they are not able to remain at home within the community for follow-up, then they are taken to our facility where they can be monitored by the medical staff there.
The Department of Health and Wellness assures the public that for every confirmed case, contact tracing is undertaken. Officials request that the privacy of individuals and their contacts be respected during this process. Individuals who have been placed in quarantine are also asked to adhere to the quarantine measures, as explained by their healthcare professionals, in order to reduce the possibility of risk of transmission of COVID-19. The Ministry of External Affairs, in collaboration with the Ministry of Tourism and other stakeholders under the advice of the Ministry of Health, have been working to repatriate St. Lucians stranded on the high seas. External Affairs Minister Sarah Flood-Bobra gave an update on the latest developments with the repatriations, indicating that over 200 St. Lucians will be brought home by Friday.
In an effort to return stranded nationals to local shores, the Ministry of External Affairs, Ministry of Tourism, and the St. Lucia Tourism Authority are working in tandem with the Department of Health and Wellness, the St. Lucia Air and Seaports Authority, Customs and Excise Department, Immigration, and the Royal St. Lucia Police Force to repatriate cruise ship workers. Minister for External Affairs Sarah Flood-Bobra made the announcement that the nationals will be arriving on island on May 8th.
That we have a total number of 219 cruise ship workers who are now making their way to St. Lucia. They're on Carnival Cruise Lines, Carnival Glory, and we are expecting that these 219 St. Lucians will arrive here in St. Lucia on May 8th, on the evening of May 8th.
Of the 219 nationals, 207 will arrive on Carnival Glory and 12 aboard Caribbean Princess. Both ships will be docked at the Castries dock, and immediately after disembarking, all nationals will be quarantined. Flood-Bobra says while the process of repatriating the nationals was fraught with challenges, the ministry is doing its best to ensure the repatriations are done expeditiously and safely.
We know that the families out there want to see their loved ones. You want to embrace, you want to hug, but we want to make sure it's safe for you to do that. And for that reason, and of course the Ministry of Health at some point will be given full details of that. But just to remind you that when your loved ones do disembark, there will be an immediate 14-day quarantine. So that is for their own health and for the health of our country.
Due to the nature of the operation and the health and safety measures which must be adhered to, public access to the ports of entry will be suspended during this operation and will be managed by the Royal St. Lucia Police Force. In light of this, the following health and safety protocols will be observed. 1. All frontline personnel at Port Castries will facilitate arrivals wearing the necessary PPEs. 2. It is mandatory that the 219 returning nationals arriving wear face masks. 3. Port Health Authority will spearhead the disembarkation process. 4. Returning nationals will be immediately transported to a government-operated quarantine facility where they will be housed for a period of 14 days. And 4. Each national will be screened upon arrival at the government-operated quarantine facility. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Genevieve Gonzalez.
Tourism Minister Dominic Fede has explained the intricacies of the phased reopening of the tourism sector set for the 4th of June. He says small tourism-dependent countries like St. Lucia cannot afford to go bankrupt, as there will be little sympathy shown by more developed countries with helping them to get back on their feet. He has explained that lots of caution and consideration has gone into the plans to reopen the country.
Tourism is St. Lucia's biggest revenue stream. Since the advent of COVID-19, where borders have been closed, travel restricted, and persons being asked to refrain from physical contact as much as possible, St. Lucia has seen the devastating effects on its economy, with an insurmountable amount of persons being left jobless. Prime Minister Alan Chastanet has been appointed by the OECS to take charge with drafting a plan for the tourism sector's COVID-19 phased reopening. Tourism Minister Dominic Fede on May 6th explained that the phased reopening of the tourism sector is being looked at to ensure the island does not go bankrupt, given the dire economic situation that the country is being faced with.
Well, I think the Caribbean is looking at a phased approach, and we're in no way looking to get back to numbers immediately that were pre-COVID. I don't think that anyone have that dream or is of that illusion. What we do know is that we have to begin the process of reopening our countries, reopening our economies. The member countries of CARICOM, they're all in a situation of flux, of economic flux. The fiscal situation is dire. So the St. Lucia problem that has been reported by our Minister of Finance and the Honorable Prime Minister is one that really afflicts the entire Caribbean.
He indicated that a special OECS or CARICOM meeting will be held on the 7th to discuss the new heightened protocol that will guide the tourism sector. The minister has assured that careful consideration has been taken to ensure the safety of the visitor as well as the working force.
Testing people before they go on an airline, albeit it will be a rapid test. airlines will have already indicated that passengers will now have to wear masks during the entire flight. Flight attendants are going to be required to wear masks as well. You're going to have a situation whereby there'll be no seating in the center seat except for when families are traveling together. You will also have a situation once they get to the airport, there will be facilities at the Uranora International Airport to test everyone that comes through for their temperature levels, so that if there's anything that resembles a fever, that individual will be pulled out of the line. There will be a scenario whereby hotels are going to have the same equipment to be able to test and to be able to monitor guests for symptoms that are related to COVID.
Minister Fede says, in order for this effort to be successful, there must be collaborations on all fronts, from the ministry all the way down to the person with the spending dollar. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Genevieve Wanda.
The latest batch of COVID-19 tests in St. Lucia bore nothing but good news. As of the 5th of May, St. Lucia recorded 33 negative COVID-19 tests. While these results offer hope in the island's fight against the virus, members of the public are being advised to continue adhering to the protocols set by health officials as COVID-19 remains a threat.
The battle against COVID-19 continues. On May 5th, 2020, the Ministry of Health received the results of 33 tests conducted on individuals who had presented at health facilities and community testing centers for COVID-19. All of these 33 samples tested negative for COVID-19.
To date, a total of 475 tests have been conducted nationally, and of this, 18 persons have tested positive. Of these confirmed cases, 15 are fully recovered and have reintegrated into their communities, and 3 are active cases currently in hospital care. These 3 cases are all stable and are responding well to care from the clinical team. We all recognize that COVID-19 continues to be a public health threat. It is our awareness of this that drives us to continue to work intensively in implementing all of the core components of our health sector response, including screening, testing, contact tracing, health education, and clinical care.
The ministry's response to the virus continues to be on high alert, and thus it is doing all that is necessary to ensure all components of care are implemented to combat the virus.
We note that many cases of COVID-19 are mild, so we continue to recommend that anyone with respiratory signs and symptoms should refrain from going into public places.
The Ministry of Health continues to work assiduously to ensure the containment of the spread of the virus. Members of the public are urged not to gain a false sense of security from the good news being received so far, as COVID-19 continues to be an imminent threat. Members of the public are asked to continue doing their part to ensure the mitigation of the virus. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Genevieve Gonzague.
This is the Hot 7 TV Nightly News. Still to come, a much-needed financial rescue for musicians. Minister Guy Joseph calls into a talk show to clear his ministry's name, and the Labour Minister cries shame for employers exploiting the layoff system. That and more coming up after the break.